Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Malcolm and Marie. Malcolm and Marie is a 2021 romantic drama that follows a couple as they return home from the premiere of his big directing break, and in turn begin to discuss everything from current relationship problems, past relationships, and the state of film criticism. Malcolm and Marie is a Netflix original film set to debut on February 5th, directed and written by Sam Levinson, which marks another collaboration between Levinson and star Zendaya. Like everybody else, when that trailer dropped, I was pumped. This looked exquisite, from the black and white cinematography to the acting performances and this rich dialogue. I was really excited to see what Malcolm and Marie brought to the table. And then that insane amount of initial praise it received from the first reactions had me even more excited to watch this film. And ultimately, I thought Malcolm and Marie was very good, though it missed out on that magical great that so many others are feeling for me personally. So, let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Far and away, my biggest positive for this film is Zendaya. In the lead role, she is amazing in this film. All of that Oscar awards hope and hype you've heard about her, very well warranted. She is stellar in Malcolm and Marie. First of all, I just loved her character. She is full of sass and right up my alley. This dark, macabre nature to her really enticed me. And she's very complex. I would argue the more complex of the two, thus the more interesting of our two characters here. It's a really complex, well-written character, and Zendaya takes us on this amazing emotional roller coaster the entire time. It's wonderful work. And that is definitely not to say that John David Washington is also not very good, but this is certainly the Zendaya show. But speaking of Washington, he gives probably his best performance to date in this film, though his career is still relatively young. But it's a really heartfelt and deeper performance than I think we've seen him do to this point. But aside from Zendaya, the huge standout in this film is the script from Sam Levinson. This screenplay is fantastic. It weaves and moves, transporting us through these different issues and topics effortlessly, all of which are given ample time to percolate with the audience as well as with the characters. Ruminate and land, having you think about everything that's being brought up, whether it be trauma, the creative process, film criticism, and how that is handled. Plight of Black creatives in Hollywood and how they navigate through a white critical lens. Straight up appreciation within relationships. All of it is here. All of it's handled very well. The film has a lot to say, and Levinson is able to handle juggling all of these topics so well and delivering a very impactful, well-written, sharp, and witty screenplay. It is also a beautiful film. It looks stunning. The black and white cinematography was a great choice for this subject. We are stationary, staying put within this house, but it all just looks wonderful. Everything's framed beautifully. The entire film just looks great. So then, what doesn't work quite so well when it comes to Malcolm and Marie? Well, for as great as his screenplay is, I actually think Levinson in the directing chair actually did a disservice to the film. There were some very strange directorial choices that hampered what was happening. And I think people are going to eat up the score and the original music used here, but I really thought it took away from the emotional impacts of the film. When we insert older songs and they're part of the narrative, that worked beautifully. However, the score and the way that Levinson utilizes it and the way it's mixed is really intrusive in my eyes. It comes blaring in, and for me, it didn't fit the tone of what we were being presented through the film. It almost came across as melodramatic and cheesy. And that's kind of what the direction does. The ebbs and flows of the film don't work for a good narrative flow. Rather, it works up and down towards these really odd choices in filmmaking that detract from that flow and took me out of what was really happening. Not to mention, I have seen others mention how relatable the film is, and I'm quite curious about that aspect. I have much more limited experience when it comes to relationships than I know a lot of other folks have. And that's where my own critical bias certainly does hinder me being able to connect to something like this. However, this is such a toxic situation that is taking place in such a specific scenario that I have to say, I do think people might transpose themselves into past abusive relationships, and certainly there are a lot of people who can unfortunately identify with that. However, this is just so specific in so many ways. I'm interested to see if others can find such relatability. I enjoy the aspects of learning and being able to live through an experience I have no knowledge of personally, but it was just such a toxic situation and such a toxic environment that at times I really did feel that distance in such an intimate and personal setting in film. Ultimately, I think that Malcolm and Marie is a very good film that has some amazing qualities to it. I would love to see the screenplay and Zendaya earn Oscar nominations. Unfortunately, there's just too much that kept me at bay from truly loving this film. But if a romantic drama is up your alley, I definitely think you should check out Malcolm and Marie as soon as it debuts on Netflix. Otherwise, you already have the service, so yeah, give this one a watch. I do think it's worth your time. So, that is my review of Malcolm and Marie. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Malcolm and Marie? And what is your favorite romantic drama? Let me know either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!